How about now? Do we have sound now? It's been a hectic morning. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Payne. Good morning, Peddling Profits. Good morning, Anissa. Peddling Profits. I cannot remember your real name. I'm sorry. I'm old and forgetful. Mr. Bumcrack, good morning. If I was to meet Mr. Bumcrack in person, I would walk up to him and say, "Good morning, Mr. Bumcrack. How are you this morning?" Because I have no idea what his name is either. Thank you. Good morning, Sandy. I don't know where Todrick is this morning, so we're just going to just power on through. Uh, so anyway, I hope everybody's having a great morning. All right, that's fine. I don't. Uh, Scott, I've got to be down at my mom's house tomorrow, so I won't be able to be on your show tomorrow to help keep things going. Because it gets kind of boring on your show, all that reselling crap. Duane is my name. Okay, that is right. Correct, Duane, or is it Dwayne? I don't know. I'm phonetically challenged. Uh, okay, we'll just move right on to business. Anybody got anything exciting about their sales? Anybody sell a bunch of stuff tomorrow? Yesterday? Hopefully they will tomorrow too. I guess not. I was looking in a chat that I'm in with some peeps, the resellers. Good morning, Jabez. Okay, thank you, Duane. Uh, and they were talking about, and I only saw this one little thing, so I'm not sure. Okay, that eBay is requiring anything listed in the auto section to be, you have to offer, um, free return shipping. Good morning, Mike. Is anybody else having? Sorry, I'm having to look up to see what this. I was I was looking to see what this lounge fly thing is that she sold.
Loungefly, they make like backpack purses, and I've got a little keychain.
That's a brand. The
Yes,
lounge.
Loungefly is a brand, a very popular brand with with the
Okay.
kids, as they say. Uh, I
Good
like
morning,
eating
Hank.
because I can yell and scream in the back before I come on here, and only you get to hear me.
I know. I was overlooking pulling up that to see what it was because I did not know what. I'm like, hell, I don't know what that character is, but it's not a character; it's a brand,
No, I've got a purse, Tom. Um,
and they're not cheap.
their big thing is they make these purse backpacks. Is one of the more popular things they make. Loungefly
Right?
does. I've got three of them left. Don't
What
let
did you
Todd in. He sucks.
What
What's
did you?
up?
Don't come in here. You're late, old man. What the hell? You probably been
Yeah,
up since 4 o'clock.
It's okay. I'm late to him all the time.
It
I
ain't no.
know.
Don't let him off the hook that easy.
Um,
Y'all
but
want to see
like I
my?
said, I didn't know what that lounge fly was. I thought it was some character they'd come up with.
Y'all want to see my cool find from yesterday?
Um,
So
yeah,
I went to the thrift stores, and I came home. We had leftovers again because uh, my wonderful beloved wife, who she decided to make ribs for the 4th of July. She There's just me, Jacob, and her. She cooked 3 slabs. So we've been eating ribs every dinner since Friday, and don't get me wrong, they were wonderful, so I don't mind. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you. And she froze the slabs to reheat later, and we still took. So I'm like, the thrift stores are open till 7. They've decided to stay open an extra hour. The 3 of them that I go to for until the time change, and then they'll go back to their 6 o'clock time. I'm like, let's run down there because she wanted to get a box of Pyrex out of the storage so she can go through another box. They had just put it out. It was sitting there.
Oh, Cool Pix 330.
That's the 16 megapixel. It looks like it was sold at Sam's or Costco. So it's brand new in the package. And they said, hey, since it's for the first month through the rest of July, all from 6 to 7 o'clock at night on our new hour, you get 25% off. So this thing, it only costs $17.50 or whatever that, or $18. The comps on this thing, the last new one sold for $200.
That's a win.
Yes, it is.
And I just shot a video, and I'll give you all I mentioned this just for a minute. The point that I made, I was doing whatnot shipping. Y'all can come back to the screen if you want. You've got me. Nobody sees you twirling your little cup, Tom.
I know.
Yeah.
There you go, Hank.
It's harder to do a $5 into 200 for a lot of people, but if you spend 20, a 20 flip into 200, you can find regularly, much more regularly than a 5. You know what I mean? That's the point
I don't mind paying up if I've got confidence it's going to be a good seller.
Yeah.
And this thing's going to, I'm going to list this in a little while. It'll probably sell today or tomorrow at the latest. The colors on these. So black is the most common of all these cameras. So this red one is, it'll sell. Yeah, Hank, it's brand new. Never been out. Trying to see what comes with it, because normally when they do like this, you get you get video cards and other stuff.
When was it produced?
I don't know.
I mean, is that a new model or is that an older model or?
Oh, it's an older model. It was like I thought. It shows Sam's. It came from Sam's. Normally they have a date on here, but this one does not. So what they do is the regular box is in there, like you would see on right. But they just put it in there. It's probably make it. Knowing Sam, they do this because they think it makes it harder to steal.
That's right. That's what I was just thinking.
Makes it harder to steal.
You can't stick that in your pocket and walk out with it. Yeah. Hank, it's actually red. It must be my camera must be off. And it's a 2-cupper.
I wouldn't even come over here but Peddling Profits, bless your heart. He called you Dwayne, for God's sakes. Are you going to take that from Tom?
I wasn't sure.
Called her Dwayne.
You know what?
Damn.
I'm not being critical or nothing or ugly or anything like that, because this fineness can't be ugly. But I've never heard that name before.
Okay, so don't worry, Dwayne. Here's your revenge. But he's got headphones on. Where's your partner, Robert? Where are you? Hey, Robert, where are you?
Oh, that goodness. That's right. Roberta has all this goodness anytime she wants it. Okay. Yeah, and she don't want it.
Yeah.
Good morning, folks. And Hank, that's who sold Scan of Freedom is the one that sold me this coffee mug.
How do you have the name Scan to Freedom? And I bet you hadn't scanned anything in this year. Scan to Freedom.
Unscanned to Freedom.
So, well, that's a great find. Now, if you could just find about 1,000 more of those, you could just retire for the rest of the year.
Unfortunately, some of Evil Joni came out in the thrift store. I'm over there picking up his camera and looking at something else, and she's like, "Can you come back over here? I wanted to show you something." I'm like, so I wander all the way back over there, and she's found a Cuisinart griddler. Do y'all know what those things are? It's like a panini press. Like Cuisinart makes them. They're called griddlers.
Right.
They kind of lift up and come. This one is a Griddler Cinco. It's the last one they made, and it's got so they have removable plates so you can take them off and wash them. So it's machined. It's really nice. Well, this one was $15, and she's like, look at this. So I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, it's worth about $50, and they wanted 15 for it. She goes, I don't care what it's worth. I want it for me. I'm like, we're supposed to be buying stuff to sell, not for you again. That's what every time I've ever taken her thrifting before. She had like 4 or 5 other things. She picked up some crystal that she thinks is worth $40 a stem for. And neither one of us knew about the discount. We get up to the register, and it ended up being $12 instead of 15 or 11 and a quarter, whatever it is. So but it had extra plates on it. So it had $25 in extra plates on that thing. It had the waffle plates with it.
Yeah. When you can take, because we've got, is it George Foreman? The one
Yeah,
that made
the later Foremans, the plates come off so you can clean them.
I've got those, and I like that because I can
It's
just pop them off and throw them in the dishwasher.
Tom, it's very similar to that, but it's all stainless, and it's got like a handle that just kind of sets it down. The whole plate just kind of jiggles a little bit, but it's very similar to those later Foremans.
Right. What was that thing new? Just because of the brand, they got add 40% to it.
You can buy it new on eBay for like $74 ship, but that's without the waffle plates. The waffle plates are another $25, so that's about $100.
Good morning, Felix.
Felix, we don't have oil money.
Is that his is that his real name, Felix?
No.
It's probably like Ahmed or something like that. Oh, was that racist?
No, he probably doesn't say Ahmed because he's mad at what's his name making all the Ahmed.
We have some Indian friends, and the husband goes by Chris. And because I asked him one time, I said, "What? That's not your real name.
Ahmed,
what is your name?" And he says, "Don't even worry about it." He says, "The English tongue, the American tongue, cannot pronounce it."
Right.
And I said, "Okay, so Chris, it is."
He's probably going just like Ahmed on what's his name? I kill you.
I kill you. Yeah.
I like Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham is right funny.
Yeah, I liked when he did the world tour, and he was in. They went to Israel, and it starts as "Good day, infidels," and then he starts looking around, and he looks at Jeff, and he says, "What's up with all the Jews?"
He did. I saw the one where he did the one in Saudi Arabia,
right?
And he looked around. He was really funny, but yeah, but what else did we?
Okay.
She's supposed to be up because she left some plates there. She wanted to go back and get. Because she looked at them, she's like, it was 8. It's a set of 8 Pfaltzgraff, few odds and end pieces, and they were like $5. I'm like, why did you leave them for $5 if you thought we could make money on them? Even if I had to put them on eBay, and especially knowing now they're only $3.75 for 8 pieces. That's like 50 cents a piece.
Oh Lord, I have a question. Since you mentioned Pfaltzgraff, I have a friend that's going through a nasty divorce, and we've known all 3 of us have known each other for years because we were members of a science fiction club. And she had a question to me, and I'm not really sure. Why don't you Google it? But anyway, these plates that have like characters on them, like the Star Trek or Star Wars. Can you actually eat off of those?
You probably can, but you're going to ruin them. You're going to scratch them and ruin them. They're
messy divorce, Scott. Messy divorce, and she's got.
You can eat off of them only if the Force is with you.
Okay.
What are you talking about me for? Yeah, well, it'll be 34 years in a couple of weeks. One of us has to die to get out
No,
of this.
no, I wasn't talking about that. I started off by saying, they're going through a messy divorce, and so so she's going to start eating. She's going to start feeding the children off of his Star Trek collection. Uh, God, these women are bitches. Oh, Lord have mercy. Good morning, Land Shark.
Craig, it takes too long to do Chat GPT. Whenever Gemini is built into Google, Google search is as good as it ever was, even better.
Is that the new little thing that pops up? Like if you search,
And it tells you this may be a this, or it gives you a little paragraph summary.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Gemini chat. That's Google's version of their learning language model. That, yeah. So Ping's right. A lot of those plates do say on the back of them, Tom, do not eat, do not microwave, do not dish,
Okay.
because they are. A lot of times the paint is not sealed on there.
Right.
Like false craft, that stuff, that pattern's baked into it. You know what I mean? It's made to be in it.
You know what? I didn't even think to, and I bet she didn't either, to look at the back of it to see it. But anyway, so she's still in bed, and she's supposed to be over there to get the.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to end up running down there in a few minutes.
Today's Old People Day at Goodwill's, and it's still too much.
The local one that we go to, they've got 5 stores,
Uh-huh.
4 in town, and then 1 in the next town over. The senior day today, so 25% off.
Yeah. We've got, hell, I got 5 within 20 minutes of me.
We've only got a couple Goodwills here, and they both. Okay, the one that they moved is better than it was, but it's still not great. The one is awful. The one is like, why would I give you $20 when I can go to Walmart for 21?
Yeah. Well, like I've said before, my Keurig that I'm using came from Goodwill, for $3.99, and I've been using it now for about 8 months. So when it quits, I'll just part out the pieces off of it, go get me another one for $4.99, and wait.
The vintage memories don't say too much, because Tom's going to give you a man's name like he did Peddling Profits. Lenny said he got Gemini Pro with his Google. So can you use that on your computer as well, Lenny, or is that just for the phone? I bet it's for the computer too, because it probably goes with your name that you're logged in on Google, I bet.
Hi, Beth. Good morning. Beth, how are you? Are you getting any of that rain down there? Is anybody getting any of that flooding down in Texas, if you're in Texas? Hey, Lenny. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
All right, cool, Lenny. I'm seriously thinking about. Okay, so my options are, I don't know if I want a Samsung phone, because Samsung is moving. Everything they're talking about now, they're moving away from Google. If the new Pixel is, or whatever they're calling it, is, their chip's got to be a little faster. And if it is a little faster, like if they catch up like they should this year, I might switch to that. This iPhone is just irritating.
My son has got a Pixel, and so far he really likes it.
I've had 4 or 5 of those. Whenever they used to call it something else, I've had a bunch of them. I like the fact that it runs pure Android. There's almost nothing on it, and generally makes it very. It feels like Apple. If Android did Apple, is what it feels like, because there's no extra stuff in there. It's just the pure, and they get updates very fast. Camera's generally really, really nice. Ping's got a Pixel 8 Pro.
Do you like it, Ping?
I think the 10 is what's coming out this year. Like, don't you have pancakes to go back to?
Yeah. I actually want to see what the Tesla phone looks, how it does. Is it if it's
The iPhone has been very disappointing. They are so far behind on the AI forms, and it's not. I don't want my phone to do Chat GPT, but the functional stuff to the phone. Whereas if on a Pixel, if you tell Google to add this to your calendar and do this and do that, it can do the stuff that integrated into the app of that phone.
Right.
Where an iPhone, Siri's a crackhead. I mean, Siri is off in the ditch somewhere with a needle stuck in her arm. I mean, it is so bad that they are talking about killing Siri altogether, and they're looking at buying a language model to. Sandy, I don't have a 6 out of the 15. I've heard, you're the first person I've heard say the cameras. But at a minimum, I have to get a new battery in this phone. It's down to 83%. It doesn't make it through the day anymore. But Samsung is trying to push their apps and trying to get a little bit away from Google. And I don't like the native Samsung message. I'll always delete them and put the Google stuff on the Samsung phones.
Here's
But
here's the feature that I want on it. I want to have a phone that you have a little stand that kicks out behind it, and you set it down, and when you press a button on it that says keyboard, it projects a keyboard down on your screen, so I can type, and not try to type on this because I have fat fingers like the rest of me.
it's because
Uh,
you're a dinosaur, Larry.
you know what? If you've got a good camera that's taking pictures, whatever. I always had to go by the Spectrum store to turn in some equipment, and
Man,
they still have flip phones,
I thought I took pretty good listing pictures until I saw Chemo's show yesterday and showing Bridget's pictures of those clothes.
right?
Dang,
I was
looks
in and
like
out.
looks like a store demonstration. I mean, they look great. I mean, just professional.
Bridget Bridget Baker.
No, Bridget,
Primo's wife,
Oh,
Primo's wife.
okay.
Pam Banshee.
What kind of camera does she use or phone?
It's it's not so much the phone; it's just how she's got completely white background.
Okay, so the one thing that you can control, Tom, that most people just it's not about the camera, it's not about whatever. It's the one thing you can do to get better pictures, and nobody ever does anything about it, is better lighting.
Ah,
If you can light up the area much better.
Yeah,
Um,
she's got good lighting, and she must have some kind of program to improve the overall look or something. I don't know. It was just
so the one thing you can do,
incredible.
if you don't have great lighting, take pictures outside, at least the main picture, because the natural light will be much better than.
But it looked like that those shirts or sweaters or whatever were on mannequins, but you couldn't see any mannequin portions. I've got a mannequin, if I put a shirt on a mannequin, that neck thing sticks out. That was all you could see was the shirt on her listings. Just excellent how she does it.
well, you could go in there and just erase it with
I mean, my pictures aren't bad. You can
ink or
see,
whatever.
you can tell what it is, and so on. But yeah,
I said paint. Did they even still make paint? That was a free graphics program that came with Windows for you youngsters. Um, so Todd, in the chat, Bridget was talking about, or somebody, I think it was Bridget because she mentioned Chris, was talking about eBay is requiring free returns on auto parts.
Yeah, that's coming for everybody because
She said it was only on her new listings on eBay Motors. But I haven't listed any auto parts in a couple of months, so mine aren't required to have it yet.
I think it's a good idea. They really want that's their strongest platform area. They really want to continue to buyer confidence and those kind of things in their best area. I think that's a pretty decent idea. Go sell on Amazon and try to do no returns.
I mean, you might as well, because if a customer says something isn't good, they can send it back for free anyway.
Hank, I have some artwork in the U.S. National Gallery that was done with MS Paint. No, I'm just kidding, but you know, it has a vintage look to it. Uh, yeah, but you sell. I mean, you sell big ass printers, and you just take a picture of them out in your warehouse. I mean, people that are looking for your stuff, they really don't care what the pictures look like, as long as it works when it gets there.
Yeah, but if I take a picture of this and I don't white out the background and stuff, these fish hooks you can tell what they are from my pictures. They're
Right.
It's not really required to have a super good picture for these.
Well,
And that's the way most of my items are. They just don't require a superior picture.
how many people? Here's the question of the day: how many of you people actually look seriously at the photos, other than doing a cursory glance to make sure it is what you want? Like those fish hooks. A fisherman that wants those fish hooks don't care what the picture looks like. They're looking for, Sharkmaster 427s.
It only matters for one reason, Tom.
What's that?
If I'm buying a new item, I glance like you just said. If it's a used item, I pay a lot more attention because I want to see the condition.
Right.
That's the only time I pay attention to like the second, third, fourth picture. If it's a new item and the first picture is right, okay, fine. If it says new other, anything other than just brand new, I will look at the pictures. Other than that, I don't look at them much.
So,
I mean, go ahead, Todd.
Do y'all use stock photos ever? Because
No.
If I've got a brand new sealed item and you can't tell what it is by looking at a picture of the box, and you don't want to unseal it like this. Here's a sealed. It's a Vex Robotics kit. You can't see the items that are inside.
I would use a stock photo for that then because.
So I use stock photo for.
Yep, you're doing exactly right. Because that box won't sell nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't have any items like that, or I would do the same thing you do.
Yeah, they're sealed in a.
Hell, I can make that seal. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's just it. Is that an original sealed? Even shrunk wrap. You can buy those machines and just shrink wrap it, and it looks just like the store-bought ones. But you're supposed to open it up so people can see it.
Well, then it's open.
I'm being a dick, aren't
I? And according to Scott, if it's open, it's not new.
Yeah. No, it's open box, isn't it?
Ask your chat. Do you consider items new if they're open? If the packaging is opened up, do you consider it new? I'm not the only one that thinks this way.
It's not Amazon new. I know that.
If I would Landshark, if I was a clothes seller, women's clothes sellers, I would go out and find me. This sounds perverted, but I'd go out and find me some women with some big boobs. I don't care what they look like, because all that's gonna be edited out anyway.
If you've opened the package and put your paws on it, it ain't new. And Kevin, to answer your previous question, There's a guy I follow on TikTok who has been saying for the last year that Trump is just he's just an actor, part of the deep state like the rest of them, and that some of the stuff he is doing is here just to usher in um, the digital currency and the digital IDs. Remember, what's the first thing Christy Noem and them were pushing on us? The star IDs. The first step to the digital ID and digital everything is they need every one of y'all to have a digital ID, which is a star ID license.
So this is the stock photo of the stuff that's in that box that I just showed.
No, you did right. I'd have done that.
So I put that in as my first picture of the listing. And then I put pictures of the box too, just because. But yeah, it's got the little controller, it's got the brain, it's got the.
I was looking at up comps yesterday of something, and it said like new open box, and it was missing parts. I'm like, moron, you can't do open box. eBay's own description says, well, it could be missing the packaging. It doesn't say it, but it's all got to be there. It was missing. They were calling a Wii or something open box with no controllers or some shit. I mean, it can't be open box with no controllers, you dumbass.
Yeah.
They had like 40 feedback.
Do the sleepers
Like I said,
smell?
I'm just when I'm looking for something, I don't shop. If I go on eBay or Amazon or something, I'm looking for a specific item.
We brought Lag over. Lag has agreed with you, Todd. So Lag and I are in agreement. It must be right. You did good. See, I don't beat you up all the time. I agree with you this time, Todd.
Gold and silver. That's the only thing that's got any value.
You haven't called Dwayne yet, so you're good.
Okay, that's gonna be the new thing, right?
At least I can remember for the next 10 minutes.
I did not know what her name was. I'm sorry.
Stars aligned.
Nobody will forget now. Hey, if you forget, just beat Dwayne. I'm going to call Peddler Prophets Dwayne now just to remind me that you said this.
Okay. You do that. And I can't find a damn pen to write with.
Yo.
Here's a show and tell. If I can get it to come up and filter and get where I can make a full screen. It's not going to let me. There it is. Well, sort of. Anyway, that right there is the Ukrainians' Lady Liberty. We stood at the foot of it when we got the twins. Look, Jabus, last week I did not do a show because I had no internet. I had no cable. Okay? Anyway. And just a little bit of history. The top of her, she's standing there instead of a torch, she's holding a sword. And they had to cut the top of the sword off and move it down because the top of the sword was taller than there's a Greek Orthodox church nearby, and it couldn't be taller than the top of the Greek Orthodox.
I'm with
Russian
you.
Orthodox.
I'm with you, John. If you clean the battery compartment, that doesn't mean you refurbished it. Refurbished means you went in and did some repair or some major cleaning or something, made it like new.
Hang on a second. You know what? I'm going to end up believing that Craig is smart. Let's try it now. You're right, Craig. God love you. That's the Ukrainian Lady Liberty.
Okay.
But you're right, Craig. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you had your blur out thing going,
and it blurred it out.
Yes.
Um,
I figured that out real quick. I didn't even
well,
need
I'm glad you
Craig to
did.
tell me.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad y'all are just so freaking perfect that y'all know everything. Why do I have Fruity Pebbles in here?
Man, Tom, Tom's in a pissy mood this morning.
I'm not. I'm just. My perfect day is just going to hell in a basket.
Good morning,
Okay.
Chastity. How are you, my darling dearest?
Okay.
Chastity, your paperwork came in for your adoption. I just need to sign it and send it off.
Sorry.
Something about you have to live in Texas before I can finalize or something like that. So we got to get some proof that you live in Texas.
How are you doing today, Ron?
Same with you, Lag. I got to get some kind of proof that you live in Texas.
Well, you got to get legal documentation that his mom is giving him up for adoption.
Jake's paperwork came in. He's on the list. Jump in my pool for proof.
I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to put my name on the list because by the time it's all divvied up, there's not anything left.
You can't make the move? Okay.
Um. So, did Scott say that they're pushing the free returns to everything?
No, just eBay Motors.
Just eBay Motors. Okay. Okay. I didn't know whether that was.
So it's
I
like
thought.
I got a pair of Ford taillights, but they've been listed a long time, so I haven't gotten any notification that they're required to have free returns.
No, I've not listed any
That's
automobile parts. If
my
you list,
contention. My contention with that is if somebody just flat out orders the wrong part, they get to send it back for free. That's not fair.
right? Um, well, it's like we ordered a replacement taillight for my car, and the one they sent me didn't fit because it's not. If you look at the model number engraved in it, it's not for the year that I made it. I mean, my car was. So when I wanted to send it back, they said, "Well, if you didn't order the right part, then
I
that's
know,
on
Phil,
you."
right? eBay's going to do what eBay's going to do. So I guess if you want to play in the eBay Motors department, you got to have free returns from now on. But it,
Jacob, go
but
ahead.
it isn't fair. It's like I still don't think it's fair for eBay to charge us fees for the amount of tax they charge customers. And I get all the arguments. Well, you don't want to do all the state taxes. No, I don't. But
And paying fees on shipping.
well, I can understand why eBay charges fees on shipping. But
Explain me why you think that.
because I can sell these fish hooks for $1 and have shipping for $9, and they only cost me $4 to ship them.
But for people like me that only charge what's necessary, that's not fair. They should be penalizing you because why are you charging $9 to ship a small item?
Yeah, it used to be that way, but the people who overcharge for shipping were ripping eBay off.
Yeah, well, that's on them. we did send them the exact number because we found it out. Jake, I have a question for you. Can you
Yeah.
can you actually sell your willow sticks throughout the country? Because I know Florida's kind of funny about what agricultural products come and go out of their state. Or have
Well,
you?
I mean, there are some restrictions. I don't fall under the most of the commercial code
Right,
because I don't sell enough to be considered a nursery.
right.
Uh, um, so there are some restrictions, but again, most of those generally apply to nurseries. It is probably going to be an issue, probably in a few years, where it's going to be federal,
Right,
mostly because of a few invasive insects.
right. And good morning, by the way.
One of them being the spotted lanternfly, which we now have supposedly.
Jake sells them on Willow Mart. Okay.
All right,
Um,
I think I know what you're talking about, Craig, but go ahead and tell me, how do I save 10% on final value fees?
subtract. He's gonna say reduce your price by 10%.
I don't get the full lowest final value fees because I have 2 day shipping. There's just times like
Yeah, same.
like
I can't.
on our garage sale weekend. I shop on Friday and I sell on Saturday. So after that I'm usually pretty tired, so a lot of times I won't ship until my full 2 days.
Yeah,
Most
I can't do same day or next day for everything, or at least I can't do it reliably.
90% of what I sell gets shipped the next day. If an order comes in early enough, I'll go ahead and ship it that day,
Sure. Yeah.
same day, but that's only maybe 10%. Spam, those were incredible. I need to. What kind of tweaking do you do to your photos? Now, I understand you put them on mannequins. You wouldn't get that shape to your clothes if you didn't put them on mannequins. But how do you make them look so professional? And I get the background removal tool, but hmm, it was just fantastic.
I just happened to look over at my eBay store, and thought, well, I got to see if that old guy from Texas left me feedback. Oh God, where am I at? Here I am.
I leave everybody feedback.
Yeah, I do too.
I leave feedback when I'm right after I pack orders.
Mine's automatic.
I know, and I could save 15 seconds if I did that, but I just do the select all sales and I hit the feedback and give every buyer the same message.
Look, Spam Banshee says I take too much time. I need to be streamlined photos. I'm obnoxiously picky about the photos of any category. I think clothing needs to be picky because those witches will send them back in a heartbeat.
And maybe jewelry.
The problem with that though is if you're selling $12 shirts, you need to pump them out. I mean, you need to put up 20, 30, 40, 50 a day, and you're not going to be able to be super picky with those pictures. It just takes too much time.
I was thinking in the $50, $60, $70 line. I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking
well,
about
doesn't that
lower
come back down to deciding what lane you want to be in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you got to do free returns too, Craig.
Because that's like John Chartier was when he was selling his jeans. I mean, they would sell tractor trailer loads of jeans, and they'd sell them all for the same price. They'd take photos, but it was, it's just a numbers game at that point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the price point of your item dictates how how good you want your photos. Instead of doing 4, which is good enough, you want to make sure you got it 10 out, spread out. You got everything, every little
Photo Room app. So you fix your pictures on your phone and then put them on your listing.
But Todd, you're going to have an issue with that white box. It's probably going to. Only thing's going to be left is the little tag on the end of it.
I know it.
Uh,
Yeah, eBay's background removal tool is. It only works about 70% of the time. The rest of the time, it does something stupid.
to me, it zigzags the edge of the image.
Depends on if you have a brightly lit photo that doesn't have too many shadows, it does a lot better.
Does it?
How many returns do I get? I don't get many.
But it doesn't handle shadows very well.
Where do you go to look to see how many returns you've had?
Where are you about?
Seller performance.
Seller performance on sales?
No, it's over on
service metrics.
Yeah, maybe it's called that now.
Where you headed off to this morning, Jake?
I am headed over to meet a contractor to look at potentially renovating one of my buildings that I manage from a formerly commercial building. It's just a 30 by 50 building, but we're looking at making it a what do you call that? A dorm style living, where it can be either dorm style or single family home, depending on if somebody wants to rent the entire thing,
right,
or can rent it per room with common shared area. So,
is dorm style, is that like a boarding house? Is that fall into the same category, or is that?
I don't know. What's a
boarding house? Is I have a big house. It's got 10 bedrooms, and I only use one. So I'm going to sublet all the other, or I'm going to rent out all the other bedrooms, and they have kitchen. They can access the kitchen, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it'll be a shared kitchen, shared main, shared kitchen, dining, and living room, and bathrooms. But we'll put in an extra bathroom, so it'll be 2 bathrooms.
Right.
Okay, Jabus, yeah. So it gives us some options for the building, and makes it worthwhile converting it from its. It used to be most recently it was a flower. What do you call those things? Floral apartment.
Right.
But it'll give us the ability to rent the entire thing to somebody for 3 bedrooms, or to rent it per bedroom.
Right. I was talking, a friend of mine and we've been talking about building, looking at building some small, like Japanese style small apartments. Because like my boys, all they need a place is to sleep, a desk for their computers, a bathroom, and a little kitchenette.
Well, put in some shotgun freight containers.
Not in Mecklenburg County. They don't like it. They're a fire hazard because there's not a lot of space for them to get out of the thing if it was to catch on fire.
Well, you just put a window in. You put windows in them wherever you want.
All of them would have windows in them, all of them would have a window in them at the opposite
Oh,
end of the unit because they'd be shotgun style, you know.
yeah.
Um,
But you can put windows on the sides too.
well, we need to make it about 3 feet wider,
Ah, okay.
and that would
So
give
you
them
need it.
more access space on the inside.
Yeah.
So
So
anyway,
put two of them together and build a 4-foot hallway between them.
yeah, that's a possibility, right? I hadn't thought about that. You're so smart. I'll tell Mitch to send you a check.
Ah, there you go.
A
Yeah.
consulting
Make sure it has bunches of zeros on it.
bunches of zeros. Okay, it'll be 10. It'll be 10.00.
Costs more to ship it, won't it?
Yeah, it will. It's like I got from Wachovia. I got a check for 17 cents. Not Wachovia, Wells Fargo. 17 cents. A check for
Yeah.
17 cents. So when I took it in there, the manager of the bank, she saw me come in and she said, "How you doing this morning, Tom?" And I said, "Fine." I said, "I'm here to cash this." And she said, "Does that say 17 cents?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "First of all, it costs y'all, even if y'all get the super duper savings, let's say 20 cents to mail the thing, plus the .6 cent, 1 cent to buy the envelope." I said,
Yep.
"Y'all lost money on it. Why didn't y'all just, is there something I can sign this as if I get any refunds for under $3 or $1, it automatically goes into my checking account?" She says, "No," but she says, "We will discuss that one." She says, "I can't believe they sent you a check for 17 cents."
Yeah, that's great. That's craziness.
They
But
used to buy Coke and a candy bar.
for 17 cents.
Yeah, and still have 2 cents left over.
17 cents, I could buy enough gas to get home from the gas station. God, that makes it sound old, Todd. Well, good. Yeah, I mean, I don't get a lot of returns. Maybe one a year, two a year, and the last ones from last year was because I sold a pair of brake shoes for a bicycle, and it was sealed packaging, and I sent it to them, and they sent me an email saying they opened a return because they got two left brake shoes. And I'm like, "Well, I tell you what, just keep those two, and I'm gonna send you another pack of them because it's gonna sell me, it's gonna save me a few cents." So they did, and I sent them another one, and then on their own dime, they threw it in a daggum legal envelope or legal letter size envelope and mailed them back, the other ones back to me. But
Yeah, I get that, Craig.
I'm not
But it
like
doesn't matter because I'm not willing to do less than 2 days shipping, so I can never make super duper top rated extra special kiss your butt.
it don't matter how much what the price point is. If you got to do good customer service, you know, because it's going to come back and bite you on the butt if you don't. Especially in something like bicycles. I mean, bicycle parts, Disney crap, any of that kind of stuff. There's these little groups out there can destroy you.
Sadie.
But it's Scott. His return rate had to be out of this has to be out of this world. Yeah, Scott, I'm talking about you since you left. With all those pairs of lady triple X bras he had returned. Jake's jumped out to get him a Starbucks, and he's not buying for everybody.
Yeah, Sadie, you got a sister now, Chastity, so
Yeah.
you two can team up and get it done.
Chastity, There is some kind, and I was going to save it and forward it to y'all. There is some kind of vintage sale going on next month here in Charlotte, and it's like $250 for a booth, a 12 by 12 booth. I didn't know whether you or Javis wanted to bring all your vintage stuff because it's got to be 20 years old. 20 years old. I was 45 20 years ago.
Your vintage 3 times over?
I'm vintage 3 times over. Or does that make it antique?
Ah. Dinosaur?
Yeah, dinosaur. It's in Charlotte. I'll see if I can go back through my Facebook and find it. It was an ad. But when I saw 200 feet, I don't have that much stuff that's that old. If I have anything that's that old. But I was going to share it to y'all because that's, it's relatively convenient. An hour and a half, 2 hours from y'all. But anyway, it's like all vintage stuff. You got to sell a lot of crap just to pay for the damn booth.
Yep.
Unless you're going to use it as a marketing ploy, that everybody that stops by to look at something, you hand them a dadgum business card with your eBay store on it.
That would be a bad idea, or just your own store.
Yeah.
With how easy it is to create a Square store or a Wix store now, I don't see why more people don't do that if they do go and do booth sales.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got to run.
Okay. Did you get your Starbucks just then?
I cheated today. I don't normally drink these, but I didn't have time to stop anywhere else. And it matches my shirt, see?
Okay. And this is just passed out because you're drinking a Monster drink. That's so bad for you.
Oh, it's horrible. I absolutely agree. It's horrible.
All right. Well, have a great day.
That'll
See ya.
rot your innards.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Later.
Bye. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, Landshark. It's scary to think 20 years ago was in the 2000s. That's like the joke when somebody says, "When were you born?" and you say 19, and you haven't even got to the 57 yet, and it's like 19. But that would be like for us. My grandmother was born in 1898, so.
I got a grandpa that was born in 1876.
How did that go, Jake? Just wasn't making enough money.
I'm sure every place is different. I know Bonafide Hustler always keeps a booth.
Right. Landshark, do you still have your booth? And his son was running one for a while. I'll have to say, old Craig seems to have a good relationship with his son, whether it's all, filtered.
I really thought about starting a booth at downtown at our antiques mall, but they closed down.
Well, instead of renting a storage unit, rent you a building and start renting out subletting space to. Oh, okay.
Well, it isn't just the rent. I mean, somebody's always got to be there to manage the place, run the place. And that one you could volunteer your time like 4 hours a week to sit in there and take
Right.
people's money and stuff, but nah, too much. The juice is not worth the squeeze,
Right.
as John would say.
Depending, my son came up with the idea. He said, some of this stuff that you got, you could put in a vending machine. I said, yeah, actually, you could.
Now, if it was a booth in a historical district that you could count on tourists all the time coming through, I could go for a booth that way, and it was close. But we don't have any. People
Well-
will stop by Clifton once in a while to shop, but not near enough to do any good with it.
There's one that's near me in a smaller city, but it's right off of I-85. And they have lots of tour bus come through there, old people. And from what I hear through some of the vendors, the bus drivers, when they bring them by, the owners have a little cafe. They feed them lunch and feed
Right,
the
Robin?
drivers and all that kind of stuff.
If you're not hand delivering your packages, I don't know anybody that's a reseller that's never had a day every once in a while where the post office missed their pickup.
For a while, it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock for us. I mean, for like 3 months. So I ended up going to the post office taking stuff because I wanted it to be scanned in on the day that I have 2 days. I have 2 day shipping, but I like for it to go out as soon as possible. So if you buy something from me right now, it's probably don't do 20 minutes and say I want to cancel it because you're not going to get your postage back. Because I've
I
already shipped it.
always take my packages to the post office.
Well, the lady she's a real nice lady that comes by here. I can see her go by on my camera, the opposite direction. So I get all my stuff and roll it out there. And I stand there with she likes Coke Zeros. So I'll stand up there with an ice cold Coke Zero and boxes. And she scans every one of them, puts them in the back of her van, and takes her Coke Zero. And thank you very much.
Yeah, my post office is only about 1.5 miles, so it's no problem.
Yeah, but she told me I needed to start scheduling a pickup because they get credit when I do it like I was doing it, just waiting for her by the mailbox and I don't want anybody stealing my crap. That's just part of her run. But if I call and do a scheduled pickup, then they get extra time because they had to actually stop and scan everything in and whatnot. So, just FYI. You really haven't, Jabus? How come? Well, Chastity, Jabus, if you are both close by to that place, why don't you go halvesies? Or will they let you do that in stuff like in these booths? I've never had one, so I don't know.
You just walk in and tell the owner, "Hey, I'm Chastity's brother and I'm helping her," or "I'm Chastity's cousin and I'm helping her with her booth." So it's probably got to go in one name, but hey.
But yeah, between the two of you, you probably could make it look like a Dollar General. Have an aisle in it about 2 feet wide, and the shelves full of stuff.
Nah, I don't need pickups. I got nothing better to do those 15 minutes of my life anyway, other than drive to the post office and drop my packages.
You know what, lag. Your daddy needs a little stipend each month, don't you, Dad? He needs to send you about $500 a month to help you pay the bills, doesn't he? If he's serious about wanting to be one of your heirs, he needs to start making it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were up near Hendersonville a couple weekends ago at my brother's campground, and we're driving through the middle of frickin' nowhere down these snaky mountain roads that look like they're 12 feet wide. And there's a Dollar General sitting out there in the middle of frickin' nowhere. No, see, like when you get to be as old as you and you have a job, you're supposed to send him an allowance. That's what all the Asian folks do.
Mm-hmm.
Ping, does your kid send you money? Your daughter-in-laws are supposed to be sending you checks every month, according to the Asian dramas on Netflix.
Ping is independently wealthy. She doesn't need anything from her
I
kids.
know she lives in California. If you live in California, you're doing pretty good. Because a dollar bottle of water will cost you $5 out there.
Ping could probably buy and sell all of us.
Probably so.
She
Well,
just does the reselling thing for
Ping, you need to tell your boys they need to revisit their culture. Because Ping's from China. Anyway, all of those, they take care of their parents. You buy from him on eBay, lag? No, that don't count. You need to send him a check. That's the way it's non-taxable. It's a gift. He needs to be able to have his poker funding. So anyway, what do you got going on this Governor Newsom in South Carolina presidential listening tour for 2 days? Lord, we need to be praying now. You know what? If that moron if he runs for president and anybody votes for him, they are stupid as a box of bricks, and they're just too crazy. Okay, then send him a stack of $100 bills through the mail. Okay, well, you know what? That's one of the old ways that you need to do. You need to do, Pink. You need to go ahead and tell them that they need to start implementing that. Oh, wow. He's going to be in Oconee County. Well, that's getting over there close to the liberal area of South Carolina, so he might. He might. Okay, let's see here.
Bum, bum.
Bridget, if you're listening, glad to hear about your brother-in-law. Trump doesn't have to do that. I hope you're being facetious there, but Trump doesn't have to do that. People are already giving their money to the rich when they go out and buy those $150 tennis shoes and all that kind of bullshit. So anyway, um, so you got a lot of stuff going on this afternoon before we wind this thing up.
Gwen says I'm getting out and cutting down all these volunteer trees. So I'm like, yay.
Gwen said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I know. I need to pull some vines
I
down.
need to do it before it gets really warm. It's 80 degrees now.
Well, let's wrap this thing up so you can get on with it, and so you can keep the wife happy.
After all the rains, it's so humid that just step outside and you start sweating. I'm going to have soggy drawers this afternoon. Humidity, 81%. That's a lot. God.
Are you kidding? You would die out here in South Carolina.
What's your humidity at now?
Probably about 150%. I walked outside to put some mail in the mailbox, and I swear I thought I was going to drown before I could get back in the house.
Shoot, we used to live in the Texas Panhandle and would check the humidity and be like 14%.
Oh,
That's pretty arid.
yeah. The humidity gets real high here. And if you're down near the coast, not like on the coast, but like inland, say 10 miles, you just about drown.
So, yeah, some of those volunteers' trees are so big, I got to use the electric chainsaw on them.
Okay, here's the big one, Jabus. How about the Social Security? Did they make that non-taxable for feds? Because South Carolina and North Carolina, you don't pay taxes on Social Security.
No, I have to pay tax on mine.
State tax?
No.
Federal.
Yes.
He was talking about doing away with the federal income tax on Social Security. I don't know whether that was in the bill or not. Oh, that's right, because you're not old enough to really be concerned about that kind of stuff.
In the big bad bill?
Yeah, in the big bag bill.
Big bag bill?
Let's see here, real quick, like before we shut this puppy down, is Social Security removed from.
Yeah, they are redoing the 20 items. I thought it had to be 200 items. 200 items and 20K sales. That's just too much paperwork for the IRS to keep up with anyway. They don't do a very good job anyway.
Looks like it says the big beautiful bill includes a $6,000 additional deduction for certain older Americans age 65 or over.
Yeah, I read an article that 91% of Americans are supposed to get a tax cut in that bill.
You know, that
didn't say how much exactly or what to expect, but 91% of Americans are getting a federal income tax cut.
The $8,000 tax bill we had, with the money that we made, I'm okay paying it. I mean, it's the cost of doing business. Oh, really? Oh, that's right, 'cause you asshole. I hope I am alive in a good state of mind when you turn 65.
Yeah, like 12 trillion more to the debt. Like, we didn't up it a whole bunch during the Biden administration either.
And how long, the 12 trillion, what's the time period on raising it 12 trillion? Because North Charlotte was pushing this thing about, well, these extra fees will raise like 15 million over the next 10 years. Well, that's only $1.5 million a year. And
Javis, that's what every generation says. Oh, Social Security isn't going to be around when I'm old enough to get it anyway. They were saying that when I was 20 years old, and I'm getting it now.
yeah, me too.
So that was a lie back then. They can't, there's no politician alive that would let that happen.
Yeah, unless there's 90% of this, 90% of them are doing their last term because they're going to do it
So
and leave.
I think the only way that that could happen would be if the world economy just collapsed, which it could. It got close in 2009, didn't it?
James, you're 60 years old? Damn, I thought you were a young man. Not as young as Lag, because Lag's a middle-aged woman, but that's right.
I know, Lag. That's why I was so proud of what Elon Musk was doing with the Department of whatever it was.
Yeah.
Department of, what was it? Homo or something? I don't know. What was it?
Who is peeing?
It's the Facebook chats coming in talking about Bridget's brother-in-law is doing much better.
Yeah. Tessa has zero debt. Do you carry debt, Lag? Yeah, you will, Javis. Yeah, you will. Don't be negative Nancy.
Yeah, Doge. DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm going to call all my friends out in California and tell them to get their crystals out and send you some good energy.
I think they need to keep doing that and put old Kennedy from Louisiana in charge of it.
Oh, no. You think people are raising hell about Mr. Musk? Yeah.
Anyway, Musk is out. I haven't heard who the new, or seen a press conference about the new Doge. Who's in charge of it now?
It's sad, but yeah, Lag. If the U.S. government would go on the debt is bad, debt is stress thing,
Vivek?
the country would be a lot better off. Because
Amy Gleason is the acting administrator. I don't know that person, but
yeah, I saw that, Lag. I saw that, and somebody from the Democrat Party is starting a new spinoff of the Democrat Party that's not so left. So anyhow, all I can say is keep your bank accounts fattened up. Put it in something that you can know that will last, and do it that way. Man, gold is up. I was reviewing the value of the bars that we have bought And when I say bars, I'm talking about like 1 ounce bars. Since Todd started talking about gold and I started paying attention, it's gone up. God, it's gone up. And that's good. I should have bought more. You still there, Todd?
Yeah.
Okay. And I told my boys, I said, even though it's expensive right now, you should start picking up some. Because
What's
God,
what's expensive?
gold.
It's pretty expensive.
Yep. But you know, if they spent their Starbucks money on an ounce of gold by the time they're my age, hopefully it's going to be worth a lot of money. Because the dollar will be gone, the Bitcoin will be gone, everything will be, you know, that mini bottle of vodka would be worth $300,000 in timber and wildlife. Land, Javis, land is always a good thing because ain't nobody else making dirt. All right. Elon is crazy and you like it. You like him because he's a tech guy. All right, I got to get out of here. I got a bunch of stuff to do. Todd's got to go cut down some trees, or our wives are going to be irritated with us. And you know, you never want your wives irritated with you. So anyway, thanks, Todd, for coming in here. I'll see y'all on Thursday because, like I told Scott earlier, I've got to go to my mom's in the morning. And so I'll see y'all Thursday. And we'll see you later. Thank you, everybody, for coming in here and supporting this nonsense. Bye-bye.